Hey guys, it's Dima from Dimostech, and today I'm going to show you how to deal with unrecognizable drivers in Windows. So sometimes when you buy a device or something particular that you connect to your computer, or sometimes even something inside your computer like a motherboard component or some inside the card or something, expansion slot or something, not always the computer can recognize itself a driver, and sometimes you don't even have a CD or whatsoever to know what it is, and sometimes you can't even recognize it. Now in this case, for demonstration purposes, I have that serial console connector. Now this is used more for Cisco switches and FortiGate, stuff like that, but by default, at least from what I've seen, this thing, Windows doesn't recognize its driver. Now it's pretty much easy in this case. You just grab here the label, enter the model in Google, and right away you find the driver and everything. But we're not going to use this label. I'm going to show you how to find it without this thing. For example, if it didn't have any label, or if you wouldn't even know what it is since it's something inside your computer and you couldn't find what it was. So I'm going to show you a way how you can determine what it is and then some recommendations on how to get the driver. Keep in mind, this thing isn't that easy, sadly. Now, I guess there are easier ways to use some third-party apps that do it pretty much automatically, but honestly, I learned not to trust them. Most of them have some malware or some add-ons that they install. I don't like those. So let's go to the computer and I'll show you how to determine what driver you need to install. So now that we are on our computer, let's plug in our demo device. As I said, that's a console cable, and you probably could hear the Windows sound when you connect a new device. And by default, this particular device isn't recognized by Windows, and I know this because I used that particular device a lot in many computers. So what we're going to do is show you that and also show you how to identify what it is. So we're going to right-click on Start, hit Device Manager, let's expand that. And as we can see, this is our device, which is not recognizable. USB Serial Controller D. And basically, if I would do update driver and everything, and I'll do search, it will not find anything. That's just an old device, so probably that's why Windows 10 doesn't have it by default. And we still need to install it. So what we're going to do now is search for it by hardware ID. Now, no matter what it is, no matter what is that device, you will always see a hardware ID in the device. So basically, Windows will still have the hardware device. So what we're going to do here is right-click our unrecognizable device, hit Properties, go to Details, and in Property we are going to find hardware IDs. Now keep in mind that in some cases you'll have multiple values here. I'm going to choose this one. Sometimes you have that like revisions and stuff. You don't really need that, but you can search with that as well. Just right click on it and hit copy. This will just copy this whole thing, and what we are left to do now is open a new browser tab, go to our favorite web browser, in this case obviously Google, and just paste what we just copied, hit enter. And that's pretty much it, but that's not the only thing here. So as you can see, we already have here the driver. So we know this device is called UART RS232 serial, and basically if we didn't know that, you would find it here. So that would work with pretty much any device that is connected to a computer and you can't find the driver. One thing to note here is, in this case, the first search results are actually the home pages of that particular device. So if we'll just go here, we will be able to just grab the driver and that's it. But I want just to do a quick test as sort of another demo. We're going now to, you know what, let's go for NVIDIA, yeah, it will be good. So I have an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti currently, and as you can see, the driver is installed, and we're going to do the same. We're going to the hardware it is. As you can see, we have here multiple things. So let's go with the second. Usually I take the second. This is the one that mostly works fine in search. And what I want to do now is search for this one and try to show you, yeah, here it is. So here's something that I totally do not recommend you doing. There are sites like, for example, driveridentifier.com, and it's not that it's a bad site, but it does have some sort of ads, and not always the downloads are working, not always you get the original driver. So my recommendation, once you do the search in Google, do not enter to those sites. Just copy this thing, the name of the device that you found, go to Google again and write driver, and that's it. This way you will get the results for the manufacturer and not for some third-party driver finder or something like that. Now again, if you have some driver finder that you do trust, go ahead and use it, that's fine, but I totally don't trust them and don't use them. I try to avoid them at all costs. In some cases it's harder, but for example in this case, as you can see right ahead, we have needed results. We can just grab the driver, the original one, from NVIDIA's website, and that's it. And again, this is just for a demonstration. So if you would have some internal device, some, I don't know, USB chipset or whatever on your motherboard, this is the best way that I know of in order to find what it is. In many cases here in the device manager, you won't have like USB serial controller ID. In this case, you know that it's your USB serial controller, so you just probably know which exactly device you have. You just grab that one, insert into Google and search. But in some cases, you'll see here just unrecognizable device, unknown device or something like that. This method will work perfectly on that one as well, and that's the way you can find drivers. So before we finish this video, I just want to remind you that we have now memberships available on our channel, and we currently have 2 levels. So the first one is Demus Tech Supporter. In Demus Tech Supporter you'll get a loyalty badge, you'll support obviously the channel, and I will try, I cannot promise it, but I will try to reply your comments with higher priorities and faster. Sadly, I cannot promise that, but I'll do my best. In terms of a second level, you'll get all the things that you get in the Demus Tech Supporter, but here you'll get additional things like photos and status updates in the community, stuff that only those members will see, it might be behind the scenes, and there will be also exclusive members-only videos. So, as I said, behind the scenes, and there are already a few videos there, and probably by the time you see this video there will be more, and there might be some funny videos, there might be some behind the scenes, some personal maybe replies, or in terms of video for some particular things, particular devices maybe, or maybe even failed videos that didn't turn out to be good, but still there are videos. So you can see those if you get the second level, which is the Demus Tech Insider. And we might add some other levels in the future with more perks, maybe even match or something like that. Depends on you guys. So if you are not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel, and if you really like us, join our memberships and support the channel. Thank you for watching this Demus Tech episode. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you won't miss any future video. And I'll see you on the next one.